So lately I've been taking one day a week to just rest. I can't always sleep that whole day, but I just lay down and rest as much as I can. I did that until like 3:30 today. And now I'm kind of have a bunch of energy and I've been making reaction videos to YouTube shorts, Facebook shorts and other things and I feel like I want to rest, but I feel like this is sort of my brain resting because I'm just playing around. Like there's this Bruce Lee short I just responded to where someone asked him, "Are you American first or are you Chinese first?" And he said, "First, I am a human being. I'm not defined by nationality. I am a member of the human species." And like, you just go watch the short, but it's like I'm kind of just playing with words the way I like to do as a child. I like to ask questions, then people give me answers. I would be like, well, how are you defining these words you're using? Because if you use different colloquial definitions of these words that we've already used in these different ways within the parlance of this very conversation, then I could derive various different meanings from what you're saying, all of which that are equally implied by your wording. Which of these do you mean? And then they'd be like, and then I would point out certain I don't know. I was very argumentative as a kid, so I'm kind of playing with that same tendency in this reaction response video pattern where, like, I don't know, like, I scroll on these things like other people do because they're fascinating. Like, it's just, holy cow, people are just making all these videos. But I like to, whenever I do something, I try to do a better version of it. Like, I tried to watch a little bit of Star Trek Lower Deck before making these reaction videos, and I was like looking at it, like, got 5 minutes in. I just can't. I'm like, oh my god, I just feel like a plebeian. Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I most enjoy those periods of my life where I disdain all things that I view as beneath me. And I just only focus on those activities that I view as activities of the gods. Like, I'm like, I should only read the Odyssey and the Arabian Nights and other great works of literature. Shall only read the plays of Shakespeare. I should only do push-ups and eat like meat and eat like or whatever I think is the highest quality food at that point in time. It's like I've kind of been forced into this from the insomnia thing as well. So it's like I can't. I don't know. It's like I only eat beef, salt, and water. It's like if I'm gonna watch Star Trek Lower Deck, I just feel depressed. I'm just like at the rest today. I'm not resting right now. I'm thinking about things. This is somewhat resting because I'm laying down. I'm gonna literally make myself rest after meditating after making this video because um, my dad commented, he's like, I think you use these YouTube videos as therapy. And I'm like, I do use these YouTube videos as therapy. This is very correct. So after I put all of these contradictory thoughts into this YouTube video, I shall then force myself to focus on my breathing until I relax, and then I will lay down. Maybe I'll go for a brief walk and then make myself lay down. I might do that. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just probably just make myself lay down because I've been very active. I think I just need to like lay down. Even if I'm not sleeping, which I did till 12, even if I'm not sleeping during this period of time, it just helps. I started doing this after my junior year of high school when I just didn't sleep like hardly at all for like the winter, and it was like the first month I just didn't sleep at all. And I was just dozing in class, like I couldn't pay attention. Um, I don't have accurate records from that period of time, so I don't think I was dozing during. There was like I don't know. I mean that was before I started taking records of like the months I didn't sleep. So that was the second month I didn't sleep was my freshman year of college, and I documented that because I was like, I'm gonna know this happened because the last time it just takes you out. Like I was like, I just kind of like, I don't know, like I don't remember much of that period of like I remember it, but it's like the way I remember it is like viewing slices of film underwater that are all out of order, and it's like murky. Like I could I have journals, and I could probably like sit down at some point, just meditate, and try to like write out my whole life story, or do that through YouTube videos or something. Like, I remember my whole life, but there's just periods of time where it gets like fuzzy for like periods because my brain function deteriorates because I wasn't sleeping. And then there's like periods of intense clarity that I remember really well because I was sleeping really well. And then there's periods of like clarity fading, and I don't know. Anyway, so basically, though, I make myself rest. And I started doing that after my junior year of high school because I remember like my mom was sort of like, I was like falling apart, and she was like, "Well, what's going on with you?" And I'm like, "I can't sleep." And she's like, "Well, do you want to rest?" And I was like, "Rest? What a novel idea. I would love to rest. Thank you for suggesting that." I couldn't think of it myself because I can't ever sleep. So thank you. I would love to rest. I just started resting when I didn't sleep. I just lay down because it kind of replicated that. And it made it better. It made it so I didn't like lose the ability to digest food, and I didn't really deteriorate. And I kind of went through my senior year of high school where I did college classes. I didn't take high school classes, did college classes. And I wrestled for my high school, but did college classes at Salem State and the local community college. I just kind of rested. Like, my sleep was like better than my junior year, but not fully recovered really. Like, I just could rest. So I was using the thermo principles then. I got my sleep pretty good by the summer after my senior year of college, or senior year of high school, which was really my freshman year of college. And then went to UMass, and they just fed me soy, and I just stopped sleeping entirely, which destroyed my health for like a year. And then carnivore first time, but I wasn't. I knew it. I knew to take tons of salt, which salt pills beside me. But yeah, so just rested a lot. It just helps. Like, this time around, I realized I can't really fully recover my sleep unless I just force myself to rest. Because when I stop forcing myself to rest one day a week and just kind of rest, which it's hard to do. I don't like doing it. Like, I'd rather do stuff, and that's why I'm sort of making this video, because I don't want to. But like, I got like 3.5, 4 hours of sleep last night, and then I slept from like 7 to 12, so I got like 8 total, and then I'm just making myself rest, and then this sort of helps. I probably gotta make myself take more naps and stuff, but as my brain recovers, I can strategically prepare more. This just sort of serves as a bulwark because I have needs placed on me throughout the week, and I have to like do things to a degree and like help with things, and I need to recover from that. I need to like force myself to do a schedule, but I also need to force myself to recover from that. So this balance works. I've just devised that this balance works, and it does work. And I'm on my phone making response videos because I don't want to do it. But then I use my self-awareness and I say, okay, Devin, if you're gonna, like, you know what I mean? It's like, if I'm gonna scroll, and that kind of comes back to why I make the response videos. It's like, if I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna make response videos to the things I see because I'm thinking about it. You know, it forces me to be more articulate, not just mindlessly consume content. And if I'm going to make, I don't know, like, if I don't know, like, it's just it benefits me. This mentality benefits me, like striving for greatness always. Like, I mean, I'm laying in bed, I feel like Octavian, you know, like Octavian, the guy who took over from Julius Caesar. He was very sick. He just rest a lot. Maybe if he'd known what I knew, he could have healed himself and wouldn't have had to rest all the time. But I have to rest right now too. So I feel like Octavian, who's in bed. And yeah, I don't know. It's what I have to do, and I'm sleeping and I'm recovering, and this ensures that I stay sleeping and recovering, and I'm having solid poops, and back from Florida, and I'm drinking the fermented tea I make in the cupboard. I'm having solid boops. I'm taking chlorella. I'm drinking green tea. Um, I did take Vyvanse today, which makes it easier to lay down. Funny enough, smoking a little bit of weed. I'm gonna stop doing both of those after today and do another because my digestion's recovered to the point where I don't know. Like I feel like if I take Vyvanse or Adderall, then it sort of like stimulates my brain. Like take it stimulates my brain, but when it's not stimulating my brain, when it's normalizing it, that sort of reduces the stimulation. So it's sort of like I'm adjusting to. I don't know. I'm just adjusting. I'm adjusting to not taking it more and more and more, and I feel better and better not taking it. Like I just don't take it, and if I take a little bit, then or I take a dose regularly, then it normalizes my thoughts too much, and then I'm just less physically active. But if I don't take it at all, then I just do more push-ups throughout the day. Like it sort of like makes me the ADHD comes out instead of coming out a little bit. Like it's sort of like okay, I'm kind of getting sleepy because this is like I am supposed to be resting today. I took CBD oil and a fairly high dose, and that's kind of hitting me. But I'm going to continue this because this is useful for documentary purposes. Because at some point, someone's going to be watching this who is trying to recover from insomnia, and they're going to be like, I kind of feel this way, you know, like I need to rest, but I don't want to rest, and what am I doing? And just watching this, you know, watch this and then go back to sleep, man. Or go watch the How to Beat Insomnia course, linked on my homepage. But basically, if I take, so I'm prescribed 30 milligrams of Vyvanse. If I take like 40 milligrams, 45 milligrams, 1 to 2 days in a row, once a week, once every 2 weeks, it just stimulates my brain. Because it's like if I take 30, I just kind of feel very sleepy. It doesn't really do much. But if I take 45, and I'm not recommending this because gets into like, oh, you're taking more than you're prescribed, and a little bit yes, but that's because I'm not taking it, and I don't know. It's why I'm trying to stop taking it. I don't like the way my brain reacts to it right now. Like, but what I notice is like if I take 30, I'm just kind of like, If I take 45, it's sort of like the ADHD comes back, but it also okay, if I take 45, it's like it kind of it sort of goes beyond reducing ADHD. So I still feel kind of ADHD, so I don't lose the ADHD train of thought in some sense. There's this ADHD train of thought. It's very motivating. And it consists of these habits that I engage in throughout the day, including like what I eat, walking, journaling, meditating, push-ups, talking to people, using my phone in certain ways to post and make videos, and like if I scroll, I then make response videos, which motivates me to return to workflow in certain ways. Like there's certain habits I've developed that are very ADHD habits. When I take 30 milligrams of Adderall, I'm just like baseline. And then I'm like, what? Like it's on that state of mind is unrelatable to ADHD Devin. But if I take 45, then, but this is also though, like, I don't know, like I don't want to advocate for taking, I don't know, I don't want to advocate for taking more than you're prescribed, because I think that this is sort of something I noticed when I would take like I would take what I was prescribed. I noticed like this is just weird stuff I've noticed from having insomnia. I'm just going to document all of this for posterity's sake and for me to look into later, because it's all very interesting and useful though, but you're playing around with the brain. This is why I don't want to take any, like, I don't even taking Adderall. Like, I wouldn't have started taking Adderall if I still had insomnia at that point in time. But at that point in time, I didn't have insomnia. So I was like, okay, well, my gut was destroyed. I definitely have ADHD. I realized that through writing this paper that I'm going to try to find that's somewhere. A really good paper where I was trying to prove that ADHD didn't exist. I ended up proving that it did exist, and then I realized I had it, and I was like, oh, shit. And I was having a lot of trouble at the time from I was having a lot of trouble at the time from this is like the ADHD. Like, I'm seeing like a whole picture and I'm drawing conclusions from it. So even though I took Vyvanse today, I still have, because I don't take it frequently, so it doesn't settle into the actual ADHD fixing effect, because my brain still needs it to feel normal sometimes, but not all the time. Because if I take it all the time, my brain feels too normal, which just makes me tired all the time, because I think it just lowers my minerals. And then, but if I don't take it at all, it's like the reduced stimulant effect that causes metabolic crash actually creates metabolically stimulating inflammation that makes me really, really, really hungry. So then I just eat a bunch of food, sleep a bit more than usual, and then I just have normal amount of energy. And I think now I've gone, like, I did this with paracetam. I've done this without paracetam. And I've just seen, like, how far I can go without taking Adderall. And it's like a month. I've gone like a month without taking it. And I think I could go further and further, but sometimes I just start getting. But I also want to experiment with like after this, because a lot of the reason I also took 45 milligrams or take like a higher dose than prescribed is because it would stimulate my brain to like wake it up. Because when I hadn't slept for days, like, it didn't do anything. Like, so I'd be like, okay, like, I could like not take it for a few days. I get more tired because I'm like not having Adderall within my system, and then I take more for a few days, so I get more stimulation. Then I don't take it, and then I get more tired. And then by doing that, I was able to not take it while not being tired, because really what I had to do is stimulate brain metabolism to stimulate bodily metabolism. But then I kick it off. I use those to kick off fasts, and it's complicated. Like, this is one of the things, like, it's a sensitive topic for me, because in some sense I feel irresponsible, because I don't really feel irresponsible because I am being responsible, but I feel irresponsible insofar as not what I'm doing, but talking about it, because I don't want to give people the impression that taking drugs as not prescribed is good. Even though I'm only going slightly outside, and I truly mean this, even though I'm only going slightly outside the acceptable use. It's like, take one by mouth every day. I'm like, ooh, take 1.5. Like, not to like get high off of it, but like stimulates my brain. And then the next day, if I took it, I would feel like tired and kind of like run down. But if I didn't take it at all, I would just be extra hungry. I'd eat more. My minerals would rebalance. And then because I've been in ketosis for like 2.5 years now, my body would respond in a very different way. And then I would just be normal. Like, I'd just be like normal. And then I would just not take it for as long as I could. And then I kind of start like getting, like, my gut would, this was taking paracetam, my gut would end up getting congested. I think that was from the BHT. But I think now I could use more meal timing. I think my method of training at that point in time was, I don't know, it could also just be cumulative healing. I mean, I don't know, like, it also benefited me to have, because if you don't take, like, when I wouldn't take it, I would kind of get like, initially, like, run down, but then I just sleep more. But then I'd just be like really sleepy. So then if I take a dose and a half, then I'd be awake. If I took a dose, it wouldn't really hit me because I didn't have any in my system. And it works on cumulative dose. So I'd even use a dose and a half. But then often if I took like a dose and a half, let's say I took a dose in the morning, I feel very normal. By the evening time, I just wouldn't go to sleep. But if I took a, like, it varied. Like sometimes I take like 5 milligrams in the evening and I'd fall asleep again. Other times I would like not take it and then I'd take 5 milligrams and fall asleep. Like, I don't know. This is one of the reasons I'm getting off of Adderall. I'm just speaking about this very candidly, even though candidly it sounds like Flanders. I'm speaking of this very candidly, but I feel, I don't know. It's a very strange. It's strange the way the substance reacts with sleep and fasting and stuff, and I want to be off of it permanently. Um, Purely because, but then I also, one of the other things I do is when I'm taking it now, because I don't want my brain to get accustomed to the higher level of stimulation. Is this is just because I've been smoking weed throughout this whole insomnia thing. I've taken time off from smoking weed, but it doesn't really help. Um, if I like the times when I like, let's say like if I stop smoking weed, I feel overstimulated. If I stop taking Adderall, I feel understimulated. So if I smoke weed when I take Adderall, and then I stop taking both of them at the same time, and I've done this a dozen times over the last year, because it's just sort of doing this has allowed my brain to sleep. Because if I stay in one mode of taking Adderall, my brain can't sleep for whatever reason. That's why I've gone to Vyvanse as well. I think it was like stuff in the binders, like triggering my gut in certain ways. So I don't want to take any more drugs. Like my dad's asked me, he's like, why don't you want to go take like an SSRI or something else? It seems like you're kind of depressed or something. You might have like mania. Like maybe I do at times, but because it's just so complicated anyway. And it's like I've gone off of, one of the things that kind of freaks me out taking more than I'm prescribed for Adderall, even though I do it infrequently. So I've already gone off it. Like I know I don't have an addictive. I feel like I have to adjust this because it is amphetamine after all. It is like amphetamine derived stuff, and like people develop amphetamine problems, and I don't want to be one of them. But I am prescribed amphetamine, and I am using it in a ever so slightly off-label way by waiving the dose instead of taking the same dose every day, because that allows me to take more and more and more time off of the substance, which then my body, because it's hyper adaptive, because it's been in ketosis and on lion diet for so long, I've done so many fasts, I then just adjust to that. But then in order to, basically, like if I just took Adderall, it'd be harder to get to sleep because my brain would be more stimulated than usual. So if I take Adderall or Vyvanse, I'll also smoke weed to slow my brain down at the same time. So I'm more giving my body the substance while I also take CBD. I'll take more salt at the same time. Like I'll take it after food so that there's like an insulin effect. So I'm forcing, the stimulant effect is forcing me to digest more food more rapidly. Then I take a lot more magnesium. I'll take it with chlorella so that the increased peristalsis from the stimulant forces enhanced detox. I take it with green tea for these reasons. So it's like I'm more, and I've gone off of it for months at a time in order to show myself that I can, after doing these protocols, like throughout the last like 2 years, because it's been going on for 2 years, because like a lot of what I'm also trying to do is convince myself that I'm not going to harm myself by doing this, because I only have me to experiment on. I remember like before I was doing this, actually, I was just kind of like at a very low point in my life. I remember going to my mother and being like, I think this is going to kill me. And she was like, you figured this out before, you'll figure it out again. And I was like, okay, I'll be a little more drastic and resourceful. And that's when I started doing these sorts of things. So it wasn't that I even wanted to do this, because it's just like off-label uses of amphetamine for an N of 1 treating his own sleep problems that are documented primarily by him and only slightly alluded to in medical texts. And it's, like someone commented that I'd be likely to be seen as gullible, and I think I'm more likely to be seen as a madman. Though I think if I make enough videos and I speak eloquently enough and people actually care to investigate, they'll see a very thoughtful and educated person who just really wants to fix this problem and doesn't want to have this problem, but has this problem. So, I'm just making the best of it because I believe in some Alan Watts sense that maybe my consciousness did choose to have this problem so that I could overcome it and then benefit the world by it, because otherwise, that's a nice story, I could get behind that story sometimes, and then other times it's like, I don't know, it's like I picked my wrestling partner in order to beat the ultimate wrestling partner of the loss of ability to have sleep. I don't know, but I want to get off of amphetamine. So I've made a whole video series on that. So I don't, if you're still watching this, you might, and you're concerned that I have an amphetamine problem, which I don't. Go watch the No Weed, No Adderall video series. Parastam and Lion Diet, and let me know what you think, I document all of this because at the end of the day, if people want to call me crazy, I'm at least going to give a large volume of counter evidence. Or people are this guy, I don't know, I have this paranoia that people will try to dismiss everything I say and then chalk me up to some pot-smoking lunatic that wants to ruin the world or something. I don't know. Insomnia makes me paranoid. It just does. So then I'm trying to sort out the paranoid thoughts from the not paranoid thoughts, and I have shell shock. I don't know. I feel my brain processing cortisol from previous eras, and I feel in some sense Adderall actually reduces the emotional load I have to carry. That's why I want to stop taking it too. When I stop taking it, I have these have emotional episodes on it too. I don't know. I'm going to document all of this. I don't really, in some sense, it feels embarrassing to just be I have problems and my brain doesn't work and I have emotional issues from not sleeping. But it feels very freeing at the same time to just, I don't know, it's sort of eaten up enough of my life at this point that I don't know, this is what it is, and this is what it's been, and this is what it's likely to continue to be, and I might as well make the best of it and document this for anyone who might benefit, because there are people who benefit from me sharing my experiences of what I do to help myself and my thought process, and I don't know, there's general lessons for overcoming adversity and all of this, and it's something better to brainwash yourself with than the news or CNN or anything else that's out there. And then, again, I'm documenting this for myself, for my own research purposes, so when I come back, I can look and say, isn't it interesting that amphetamine has this paradoxical arousal effect whereby it will make you sleepy at points in time? I've had it where often I would in the depths of the insomnia, I would not take Adderall for 2 weeks, take a little bit of it, wouldn't do anything, take a little bit more, get a little sleepy, double that, so maybe take 45 milligrams, maybe 60 milligrams, and then just pass out, and then I'd wake up and take another 30 or so milligrams, I'd pass out again for another 12 hours, and that would be the only sleep I got that week. So I just load up on magnesium so that when I did that, I would diarrhea everything in my gut out so it stopped fermenting and making me nauseous. And then I do a fast, drink a bunch of green tea to clear my gut out even more, take some chlorella, eat some food, and then hope the insulin knocked me out. So that's why I want to stop taking Adderall, because at the end of the day, it's another variable, and I could accomplish that same thing with green tea and caffeine. But now I have to worry that the Adderall, either the absence or the presence of it and the withdrawal thereof, is going to cause insomnia, or that I could make myself more dependent on it by use of it in these manners. So then I have to thoroughly test these things out by going off of it as much as I could in those video series, as I mentioned. So, and I did that, and I documented how that all worked, and now I'm here where I'm basically just not taking it, but whenever I do, I take a little bit more and then smoke a bit more weed and then stop taking after. I don't take it for more than like 3 days in a row, because if I do, it starts to normalize my brain processes. And I don't want that. I want to stay in the ADHD train of thought, because that's what keeps me doing push-ups throughout the day, which keeps my metabolism high. So that's one of the things that keeps me sleeping, because I only really started sleeping consistently after I got my rib popped in jiu-jitsu, which made me take time off and then not be able to do kettlebells and just only do body weight exercises throughout the day, which I think have had a unique effect on my metabolism, such that I now eat more food, digest more food, recover better. It's healed my body up, and it's less stressful on my body, so it's kind of an ideal circumstance for recovery in the first place. So now I'm sleeping, and I don't know. But again, it could also just be the cumulative effect of the fact that I haven't consumed anything other than beef, salt, and water since I made that video maybe like 5-6 months ago, where I drank kombucha and lemon juice and then puked for a week. I think I just needed like a long time of nothing but beef, salt, and water, even though I've been in ketosis and rarely going off to only drink probiotic stuff like raw milk or kombucha. Still that, but then also I'm taking lots of betadine too. I just take betadine HCl, because betadine HCl. I'll take some betadine HCl right now, and this may make me sleepy. Like, this is the thing. Like, I may just fall asleep after taking betadine HCl, and I'll throw a salt pill in there as a kind of a buffer, and then I'll take more betadine and a salt pill. But I may fall asleep because, again, it's like my stomach has a hard time being acidic from just metabolic dysfunction from not sleeping for so long. So then when I take stomach acid in the form of betadine HCl, I'm going to wet my throat so this doesn't stick in the back of my throat. I get sleepy and or stimulated in the brain, because that affects my microbiome, which then affects my brain. Also has various neurologically stimulating effects to have high stomach acid concentrations. So yeah, this is me using YouTube as therapy, but it's very effective though, because at the end of the day, I don't know, like I'm making something from it, and it feels good to talk. And this is just what I like to do. I don't know, figure out what you like to do. Journaling also helps. Writing books helps, I guess. I like YouTube. I like to talk, and this is kind of the level I can operate at right now. So this is what we're doing. I try not to overthink it, like be like a child and enter the kingdom of heaven, and then take it by violence. Little children understand that very well. So violence is also repetition, because anyone who's good at violence got there by practicing the same move and sequences over and over and over again. It's all just drilling, sequencing, planning, mapping, experience, giving yourself the distance to get experience so you don't die. It's also just, I think, the cumulative effect of being on carnivore for this long, too. I think, and then this begs the question, how long can I stay on carnivore? Why do people get hemochromatosis? I think green tea really helps with that. Chlorella really helps with that. High fat really helps with that. Not going off of carnivore really helps with that, and allowing my body to adapt to that really helps with that. If I did go off ever and I was able to, I would just be doing carb pulses with lacto-fermented foods and raw milk for the calcium and the iron lifting effect of the calcium. Yeah, acidifying the stomach really does help with this as well. I don't know where I'm going with this. I gotta rest. Gotta make myself rest. Watch more of my videos, and stay tuned. I feel like I have more to say though. I don't know. But also, I don't know. I was taking mega doses of vitamin D before I went to Florida as well. I feel like those stimulated my metabolism enough as well. I feel like trace minerals did, the CBD did. Like it's all sort of having its effect over time, and I think it's. I don't know. It's like carnivore definitely is doing a lot of the work, but there's other things I'm doing as well. Maybe like resting definitely helps. I need to rest, but like I lay down and then I just get up and I have all this mental energy, even though I still feel kind of tired because I'm taking CBD. And again, like I said, I took Vyvanse today, so I smoked weed. So then tomorrow I'm going to just, and I'll talk about this a little bit later in the videos. I don't know. I don't like talking about my drug use in those ways because I feel like it's sort of like a weakness. It isn't, in the fact that I'm doing it very consciously and I'm making progress and it's not inhibiting me, but it is like, I mean, at least like I feel like Adderall definitely drains my electrolytes, which makes it hard to recover, which is why I want to stop taking it. Caffeine, I think, is this sort of cyclical metabolic stimulant. Like one thing I did with caffeine as well is if I don't take caffeine for like 3 days and then I take caffeine, I pass out. So I do that a lot as well when I was on carnivore. I am on carnivore. Getting tired. But when I was like initially doing carnivore and lion diet a year ago to recover, this is like an off day for me. Like I don't, but I want to make videos of my off days anyway. Because like normally I make a lot more eye contact with the camera. I know it's like better video making, but again, it's like, am I making videos or am I documenting or am I just kind of in love with this process of making myself better, and YouTube is some vehicle by which I do that and force self-reflection? I think it's more that. But I don't know. Today's a rest day. Adderall drains my electrolytes. Then I'm taking Vyvanse though, because Vyvanse is, it is like, I find it a little less potent and easier on my stomach. So now I'm taking that, but I'm gonna stop taking that for a period of time, and then just continue these rest days. Like I think that's really okay. That's really like what I think is, I think that if I just do these rest days instead of pulsing Adderall or Vyvanse, I think that I can, because I haven't taken it to sleep in a while, which is interesting. Though it does kind of make me sleepy. Like I can sleep on it fine, but I haven't taken it to sleep in a while. Same with caffeine. I haven't taken caffeine to sleep in a while either, which I think is a good indication that my brain is healing more. But it's these weird things that happen when I don't sleep for like ages and I'm taking caffeine. I've also had this happen again when I was a junior in high school and I wasn't taking caffeine or Adderall, and when I was a freshman in college and I also wasn't taking caffeine or Adderall. I think I was drinking a little bit of green tea at the time, my freshman year of college, literally, and this happened while I was drinking green tea, and I wasn't taking Adderall. So it's like, because people are so quick to be like, oh, so you have a stimulant abuse problem, and that's why you can't sleep. No, 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 no. I already didn't take stimulants for most of my life because I wanted to make sure I didn't have this problem. And it still complicates things to a degree, so I still don't want to take them. But I ended up taking Adderall anyway because even when I could sleep, I still had issues. And it worked for me for a time, but then it just ended up like not really working right before the latest Insomnia episode. Like it just didn't really work. So then I'd start fasting from Adderall. I just wouldn't take Adderall and I'd just drink green tea while fasting and poop out pond silt, and I documented it all. But like I seem sleepier on Adderall. Like I am sleepier on it, or Vyvanse right now. I seem sleepier because I am sleepier. on it when I don't take it regularly. It kind of normalizes it. Again, I prefer her to be a little like. I prefer to be a little ADHD. It just helps. So, like, actually, if you specifically want to go back through my videos, anyone still watching this wants to go back through my videos, you can see the last 2 days I took Vyvanse. I didn't really make as many videos. And before that, I made a ton of videos and I was off of Vyvanse. And then I took Vyvanse, and then now I'm going to go off of it, and you'll see the difference in my videos. I'm a lot more energized off of it, which is what it means by the ADHD suppressing effect. But I like that because it also brings emotions more to the surface. But now I really do have to rest, and I am just rambling, and it's like, I don't know. This is sort of the thing about YouTube is like so few people watch my YouTube videos that I kind of feel comfortable just sharing intimate thoughts and things that I haven't yet figured out and sort of trying to figure things out through the YouTube videos because I believe it'll help those people who are searching for that, who look for it later. And then I can also just continue to make so many YouTube videos that the soulful ones get lost within the maelstrom. So it's like, you got to look for my soul. You know what I mean? I'm not going to like, too like, he wears his heart in his sleeve. It's like, yeah, but I got a lot of layers on. So, it's just. So I'm going to keep resting, and then I'm not going to specifically do another video series on not taking Adderall because it's not really the focus. The focus is just sleeping. Like, I'm sleeping every night, and I have been for like the last 2 months, except maybe like one night, maybe. And I think the worst has been like I only get 4 hours. Like, I think that's been like the worst in 2 months. I don't really remember, but I feel really good. Like, I'm very articulate, and it's just like awesome. So I'm digesting food really well, and I don't feel like nauseous, and I haven't puked in like over a week, and I was puking a lot. Kind of make light of it, but I'm here, like my teeth are still good. Like, my teeth have recovered from when I went to the dentist, and the dentist was like, all your teeth are demineralizing, and now they're not because I've been a carnivore, and it's a lot of good things, and I don't know. I think it'll benefit people. I think it's just good to put it out there. Like, I don't really want to go to therapy because I don't really feel like therapy would help me. Like, I feel like what helps me is just putting my experiences out there for people who could benefit from those experiences. Because then it's like meaningful. Like, that's how I tie it into the narrative of my life. I don't do that by talking to someone who doesn't really care about the situation. I mean, I think that that's fine. Like, I think that that's like a fine thing to do, and I may do that at points in time, but I feel like the YouTube videos are really it's better because at the end of the day, it's something other people can use. It's actually useful. It's actually gonna, like, that's really all it is. It's actually useful. And I think that that's what makes me feel better. Maybe I'm just like that, but I think maybe other people might be like that too. But what makes people feel better isn't talking about the experience in itself, that helps, but feeling like they made the experience useful. But I think talking about it can help you make it useful to yourself. It's like, if I can gain something from this, then it's not terrible. It's like there's this idea like every wound becomes a womb. And that's from Iron John, I believe, by Robert Bly, which is an interesting story from the Brothers Grimm that is elaborated on by Robert Bly. But I don't know, make it useful. One thing I will say though is I am actively looking for someone to chat with about the neuroscience of all of this. But Can't really find anyone yet. It doesn't matter. I'm making progress. Things are much better than they were, and are going very well. Hmm. 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 I'm going to meditate first, and then do some resting. Just breathe. Oxygen, metabolized properly at the cellular level, in a calm, relaxed environment, with proper hydration and nutrition, is the solution.